Welcome in, Saribot. It sounds we're on cycle 79 as a machinist. We got forced into some story. Mm. I think we need an on-chan. We're going now. Um, let's see, what do you got? Engineering and intuition. We probably need Eugen. Maybe Junie. Maybe Cadet. It has been forever. I haven't been feeling it. I missed you too, Ananjan. Up. I hope you've been doing well. I always like to lurk during your streams. The freighter hangs over the ragged shipyard as the rig idles in the dock. Your eyes trace the fuel lines snaking up its underside, where they disappear into the dark. A chirp from the pilot's console breaks the silence. Marco's signal. This is it, sleeper. Seraphin settles in back from the controls of the rig. He looks over at you. You better get going. If this goes wrong, I'm blaming you. Don't get too bored. I'll do my best, Seraphin smirks. Hope they have something to drink in the yard. Gotta have a little with friends before we go and probably die. You know? You glide towards the back of the cockpit. Seraphin clears his throat. Just don't do anything reckless, alright? As you float down the corridor towards the airlock, Marco comes to meet you. His usual gear swapped out for a plain set of overalls that you imagined are borrowed from the freighter crew. You ready to go, sleeper? The crew we're replacing are already in the yard, so the sooner we get on board, the better. How are you feeling? Just fine, thanks. Marco meets your eye. If you want to do this, we need to trust each other. He pats you on the shoulder as you cross into the airlock. The airlock cycles and Marco leads you into the yard through a series of shadowy passages that connect to two docking bridges. Now's the time, sleeper, Marco says as you work your way through the yard. Any questions, any concerns? Speak up now. What do we do when we get there? Marco shrugs. That's mostly up to you, but if it were up to me, I'd say we ask some very soft questions, try to find where those organizing against Utsubo might be meeting. You reach a vertical tunnel and start ascending. Although we could also focus on just checking out Utsubo themselves, see what they know and what they're up to. You come out to the entrance to the other docking tunnel, the freighter filling the viewing window so all you can see are plates of its scratched hull. What's up, Captain? Eugen is waiting for you by the docking bridge, squeezed into an ill-fitting set of crew overalls. Like the undercover look? It suits you. He mocks a bow a little. He mock bows a little. After you. He gestures to the docking bridge. You hit the button to open the doors and glide towards the freighter's airlock. As you do, the fear settles in. You're going back to Darkside. I can't hear anything from my speakers. But it says there's sound. And I know it plays other sounds. Darkside sprawls out across the starscape, its surface vast and random accumulation of structures, lights, and signs. You have watched it as the freighter cut across the belt, as it grew, cycle by cycle, like a stain across the cockpit glass. Your mind, each one dissolving in the moment, you try to focus on it. Only the sensations remain: despair, claustrophobia, fear, all somehow strengthened by the disconnected nature. As if, by not being attached to specific memories, they can run free through your mind, as alive as they were in the first moment of feeling. That sounds freaky as hell. I would hate that. Instruction received. Appreciate it. Marco is in the pilot seat, talking to the port authority. Incoming strut 2-3. He turns back to you, clicking off the outgoing comms channel. First step complete. We've got docking approval as expected. He raises his eyebrows, noticing something in your face. Keep it together, all right? We've got this. I'm fine. Good. He turns back to the controls. You feel a punch on your shoulder, and you look across the cockpit to see Eugen. Chin up, sleeper. I'll keep you safe. He shoots a look at the back of Marco's head. No matter who comes for you. He winks and leans back in his seat. There's a hollow rumble through the body of the freighter as Marco brings it into the dock. The noises of this draftier, more industrial ship differ to those of your rig, and you haven't quite got used to them yet. A squawk of noise over comms sends Marco scrabbling at the controls to submit the docking code he was just sent moments before. There is an agonizing wait, and then a chirp as the code is accepted. The freighter is docked. Alright, let me go out first, talk to the dockers, and start the unloading. He unclips from his seat. Then you're good to go. Okay, I'll wait. Marco nods. Alright, hold fast, as he glides out the cockpit without waiting for a response. You hold your nerve, looking out at the flickering lights and the distant traffic. The airlock clunks open and closed again. Time drags on. You turn your attention to the job ahead. Seeing it stretched out in front of you, Darkside seems impossibly vast. Too vast to find a specific person, but just to find a type of person. Someone unhappy with Utsubo's gains, ready to risk their life to change this place, and push to a point of desperation or anger. That might be a lot more doable. But first you must understand Utsubo. See how they run this place, where they meet, what they talk about. Find where Utsubo is the weakest. Find where they can be broken. Just think about the pressure that might need to be applied, not just by you, but by all of Darkside. Eugen absent-mindedly spins the metal bottle in the air, first one way, then the other, the slap of metal on his hand echoing throughout the cockpit with each catch. Let him do it. The airlock cycles once more, and moments later, Marco is in the cockpit, sweat beading on his brow. He takes a moment, his mood uncharacteristically flustered. Well, I bent the truth a little back there, but I think we're good. He runs a hand over his hair, slicking it back into place. Luckily, I've had a lot of practice lying to dock workers. He gives you a wink. They'll begin unloading later this cycle, and they won't be in a rush. He smiles. We have our time as promised. But the sudden interjection evaporates any relief you're feeling. Utsubo are watching these docks, that I know for sure. For now, we are just another freighter, but all our coming and going, that could be a problem. He turns to you. We can try to disable their monitoring, or just get the job done before it becomes an issue. I'll take a look. Marco nods. I'm sure you will. Either way, we need to get on with what we are doing. Marco unfolds his arms. Utsubo are everywhere, but we need to understand them to know what's happening inside their organization. We slip under their skin, find out how they work. Marco looks to you. This is what I recommend. But now, Sleeper, it's your turn to lead. He folds his arms. Tell us where to begin. You feel the attention, the pressure shift to you. Time to find some allies. Time to find Utsubo's weakness. Time to stop running and to start resisting. Okay, I'm the only one who's good at this. He's got pretty great engage. Hmm. I have pretty trash engage. But I am 100% good at interfacing. But you know who else is good at engaging? Eugen. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Mucho more safer. Hmm. Oh, that's right. It's better to just not let him do things. If he's gonna do them that way. I'm gonna run out of supplies before. Check. Right now, he's pretty trash for this, but he's got good intuition. Hello, hello, Dandan. How's it going? If I knew that having a well-rounded crew wasn't something that I would need, and that having intuition, interface, and what's it called, was more important, I would not have brought you, Jin. Okay. Wow, you got a neutral outcome. Good job. But also, how have you been, Dan? I know Mealy's been doing the subathon, so we've all been there. I've been lurking aggressively, because that's the way I live. Alright, we cut the connection. Good. Paying taxes is the best way. Oops. I got a little bit of stress. For someone who's supposedly so good at this. What about here? Okay, we got a neutral outcome. But that's dangerous. I think it'll be fine if we just end the cycle again. I am moving forward. The people I use for workouts during my days, they are ever so very gently not available. Somehow, again. So, oh, you got some stress. So sorry, friend. So this, it'll work. So I had to find a new spot on the internet for working out, and I picked out this new couple, I guess, for full body dumbbell workouts. I did just one of their workouts because I don't know how it's gonna feel the next day. So that's what I'm doing. Where's my time? And then there was it's been 2 months since the last time I played Citizen Sleeper. I should probably get back to it before I completely forget what I'm doing. And I also need some water. Or I can do me one better and get some pomegranate cranberry sparkling water instead of water. Because light juice is so good. You have located an Utsubo safe house. You are sure of that, but getting inside will be tricky, thanks to the automated lock on the entrance. There has to be some way to get a passkey. You make your way through the rise, head down the dark passageways. Sleeper? Eugen's voice has a rare, nervous twinge to it. Marco's gone. You stop in the dark side passageway. You were drifting down, a quiet connection between two thoroughfares. You glance around at the loose bundles of wires and stained metal plates. It seems like a safe place to talk. He mentioned he had something to deal with, and then he left. Eugen shakes his head, kicked off and ran out like Utsubo were about to boot the door in. You pause for a moment, unsure how to react. What's going on? Not a clue. Eugen frowns. I don't want to cast accusations. He pauses. But it seems like some snaky shit to me. You take a moment. No need to panic. Marco brought you here. He'll get you out. You look down the corridor towards the busier, wider passage where people drift by. If he needed to deal with something then, well, he needed to deal with something. It doesn't mean anything, but you sure as hell wish he had given you a warning. Surveilled and now short-handed, this job is going from bad to worse. I need an unstable cipher. Okay. There we go, we got the cipher. A simple door. You use the passkey and the bolt thunks open. Time to go inside. An unlocked door slides open as you use the cipher. Beyond it, a dark tunnel descends. Its roof a mess of bundled tubes and wires. Entering, you see a flickering light at its far end and hear the soft echo of raised voices. Eugen pats you on the shoulder. Into the snake's nest, he grins darkly. Let's see what they're plotting. You drift down the tunnel, keeping your limbs clear of the sides, your passage through the air silent and gentle. You focus on the flickering light, the sound of the voices growing even louder. As you descend through the tunnel, you notice a small dark doorway, leading off before the tunnel reaches the bottom. You slow yourself gently, fingertips grazing the metal walls on either side. Glancing through, you see the doorway leads into a framework balcony, high on the wall of some dark room. You glance down to the bottom of the tunnel and hear the voices rising in volume. Here, Eugen nods at the balcony. Let's keep to the shadows. You come out into the balcony overlooking a dark, cavernous room, lit in patches, with a bright area at the far end. It is filled with people. Utsubo enforcers, members, all facing forward, their floating bodies silhouetted by a pool of bright light ahead, and in that bright pool, two figures are arguing. You come to the edge of the balcony, a feeling of safety granted to you by both your elevation and the cover of darkness. Below, the entire room has its attention focused on two figures in the pool of light. The watching audience keeping to the dark perimeter as if they were observing a piece of theater. You feel Eugen arrive beside you, his attention like yours on the scene below. These are my territories. You need to withdraw. One figure, their features hard to define in the open pool of light, gestures at the other. There is no discussion to be had. The other figure laughs. You're pathetic, Oren. The Washgate is a joke, like you. He turns to the crowd, and you see dark hair, dark eyes, and a smile like a slit. The dark-haired figure addresses the gathered crowd. Oren makes the nothing from the Washgate, all that freight, and he lets it slip by while he soaks up bribes. Jeering echoes around the crowd. He is stealing from you all. Daichi, you piece of shit, Oren spits, a glinting orb zipping past the other man. You have no respect. A few of the crowd enter the light, gathering behind one figure or the other, barely more than an enforcer and already dictating terms. If you had any idea what was happening in the passages, you'd know we've been facing sabotage and resistance across the Washgate. Oren shakes his head. Utsubo's control is under question. Sabotage and resistance! You quietly log the remark in your mind. Those are the people you have to find. Daichi smirks in response. I still know how it is in the passages, but you are getting soft, Oren. He glances around. You can't deal with some angry shop owners? He makes a show of his mocking laugh. It is easy to mock, but they are organized, and I am close to rooting out their meeting places. Oren folds his arms. You wouldn't know where to start looking. If you say so, old man. In the end, it's only a matter of time before someone ambitious notices how weak you have become. Daichi draws a finger across his throat with a grin. The room erupts in shouts. Both sides call out insults, while others from the crowd air their own problems, some drifting into the light to heckle Daichi and Oren directly. Silence! A voice cuts through the room, raised above all others. The noise drops. You lean forward to get a better view. Ooh. A woman holds her muscled arms in the air, a wide, strong posture of control, not surrender. She sounds familiar. Ankita? Both of you. She shakes her head, her long braids snaking through the air as she does. Enough. This is not how we do things. The chaos is replaced by a disgruntled muttering, no one voice willing to rise above the murmur. Daichi floats to one side, arms coolly folded, while Oren fumes opposite him, his hands in tight fists. So, this is how the Star Ward conducts its business. She shoots hard looks around the room. Animals, fighting over scraps. Ankita. Oren eyes Daichi as he speaks. Daichi is the one disrespecting the leadership and the trust they have placed in. I said enough. Your weakness does not impress me, Oren. She turns to Daichi. And neither does your petulance, Daichi. Watch who you're calling weak, Ankita. Oren narrows his eyes. You may be Lane's favorite, but I have something that will change all that. He looks out over the heads of the crowd. Bring him. It's gonna be our friend. Our new friend, who's supposed to get us out of here. A figure is dragged into the circle of light, their head low, a greasy tangle of dark hair drifting over their face. They lift a hand and slick it back out of their eyes. Marco, Eugen hisses from beside you, as Marco's pale face catches the light, gleaming with sweat. This one here has a very interesting story to share with us all. Oren gestures to the gathered crowd. I'm sure you are all aware of the bounty Lane put on the head of a very valuable escaped sleeper and their accomplices. Well, Marco here tells me, he smiles at Marco, whose eyes are fixed forward, squinting into the light, that same sleeper is, right now, on a freighter moored in the Washgate docks. A ripple runs through the gathered crowd, a reflection of the value of this information. You wonder how much cryo is on your and Seraphin's heads. You look into Marco's eyes, attempting to see any indication of what this might be. A desperate bid to save himself, or a betrayal of everything you agreed upon. His set stare reveals nothing. Now, Lane himself will be returning in 3 cycles. You can imagine how pleased he will be when I present the sleeper to him. Ankita stares at Oren. You had no business keeping this from me. She folds her arms. I will be the one to bring the sleeper in. Not so fast, Ankita. Oren turns to the gathered crowd. The first of you to bring me the sleeper will be given a share of Washgate. He shoots a look across the circle of light. That includes you, Daichi. The crowd erupts into shouts and movement. The assembled Utsubo members suddenly up and moving towards the doors. You push yourself in the corner of the balcony, tucking yourself into the shadows as you hear the tunnel filling with voices. There are shouts and scuffles, and you fear that at any moment you will be discovered, but as time passes, the noise subsides. You only open your eyes when the sound disappears altogether. The Utsubo members on their way to your freighter, the freighter that is supposed to take you off Darkside. You feel the panic rising. You are trapped here once more. Eugen's heavy hand falls on your shoulder. We need to go, sleeper. He guides you towards the doorway. You ascend through the tunnel, silent, slow. Your eyes are on the entrance, hoping that no Utsubo member returns or enters, and then you are back out in the main passageway, blinking in the light of the fluorescent panels and gliding away from the entrance, lost in a daze. Somewhere in the rise, you eventually stop, not sure where you might be going, but needing to get away from what you just witnessed. You can't go back to the freighter, that much is clear, which means no supplies, no place to sleep. Then there's Marco. Was this always a part of his plan, or was this just him in survival mode? Your mind fills with questions and worries, the path ahead still unclear. We need to find somewhere to hide out, Eugen interrupts your thoughts, idling behind you in the passage, until we can find a way off this station. His face is set in a grim frown, none of his usual humor present. But where? Eugen looks around. Well, up here isn't bad. It's far enough away from the port. He eyes a few nearby doorways. There's got to be an abandoned unit among all these. Marco really screwed us over. Eugen punches a metal panel in a sudden burst of anger. Should have trusted my gut. Maybe he didn't have a choice. What does it matter? Eugen fumes. He should have kept his mouth shut. Any of us would have. You eye Eugen, remembering the first job you ran together, wondering how he would frame his own betrayal of Vesna. But you push the thought away, knowing now is not the time for it. Can you really leave this place without Marco? How would Seraphin react? If he had actually been caught by Utsubo, can you forgive him for giving in to the pressure? You struggle to gather the same anger towards him as Eugen, perhaps because you have been where Marco is now, under Utsubo's control. What would you have done to escape? Who would you have given up? The bigger problem is how we get off this miserable station. Eugen cuts in. I don't suppose you have any tips from the last time you did it. You think of the last time you were here. The mad rush to the rig, barely conscious from the reboot, while Seraphin dragged you through the seemingly endless corridors of the station. Eugen sighs. Let's take it one step at a time. I'll find a unit we can squat. He drifts off down the passage, checking doors. You take a moment, trying to find a focus. Maybe if you could find those resisting Utsubo, they could help you. Though you wonder if they ever existed at all, given that Marco was the one who reported their existence to Seraphin. Was this whole thing a ploy to collect the bounty, to bring you to Darkside? If you search out Marco, perhaps he can answer you, for better or worse. But then you recall Oren's words, sabotage and resistance. If that was an honest plea, then there is some truth in what Marco said. Utsubo is being resisted. You try to gather yourself. You have to bounce back, to come up fighting. Otherwise, this place will drown you in its darkness. Okay, where am I going? What am I doing? We're not going back towards the freighters. We will get caught. We don't want to be caught. Okay, we have an empty unit. We're going to Flicker Row. And we're gonna steal some supplies. Which he is perfect at. My engage is negative. Okay, probably negative too. Ha! Eugen, you are the best. I am obviously lost without you. Why is there nowhere else to go, though? +2 to your lowest dice. Guess the only thing to do is to end the cycle here. After you steal some supplies. You wake in the cold of the abandoned unit to an unsettling quiet. The air cyclers whine, the heat diffusers hum, but nothing around you breathes. You are alone. You slowly raise yourself, unclip the straps from the bunk, and allow yourself to drift up into the air. Silence. And then, in that silence, you hear something, a scrape or a scruff. It draws your eyes to the unit's doorway, where a shape is settled in the dark. I knew you couldn't have gone far. Ankita shifts in the doorway. Okay, I'm not gonna rush her, I'm gonna die. Just calm yourself. Ankita holds up both hands. Let's not cause too much damage. She raises an eyebrow. May I come in? She drifts through the doorway. We don't need any extra attention right now. You can't give me to Lane. Back off. What are you doing here? Look, just shut up and listen. Ankita drops her voice. I'm risking everything by coming up here, she hisses, so don't make this any harder than it is. What you need to know is this. I am on your side. I want Darkseid free, just like you, and I hate Lane just as much as you do. Ankita sighs. I just have different methods, that's all. She raises an eyebrow. You might say better methods, given how well your visit has gone. Why should I trust you? I'm the only person who can get you off Darkseid, so you better listen closely. Ankita hisses. It has taken me more cycles than you would believe to get this deep into Utsubo, and I'm not about to give it up for one escapee. But then Lane doesn't usually run all across the belt chasing a lone escapee, even a sleeper. Ankita drifts a little closer, overshadowing you. So, you need to tell me now. What does Lane want with you? Why are you so important to him? I don't remember. Ankita raises an eyebrow. Please, tell me you are joking. What you don't understand, Sleeper, is that I've been trying to keep you safe since I saw you arrive, but your friend hasn't made it easy. Getting himself caught by Utsubo is bad enough, but then blabbing about you being here, I can only protect you from so much. Where's Marco? I don't run the gang. He's at Oren's. Can't risk starting an internal war. Either way, you are lucky you aren't in the same position, and you have me to thank for that. So I'll ask you again. Ankita meets your eye. Why is Lane pursuing you? I still can't hear my game at all. I'll have to figure out what's going on with that later. Explain that you see Lane in your mind. Explain that your frame is changing. Ankita looks away in thought as you explain. She waits for you to finish. None of it makes any sense, but there's no way I'm letting Lane get his prize, not until we understand more. She gives you a hard look. I can get you out, but I need a couple of cycles, and I need you to do something for me. You need to take this with you, off station. She produces a thumbnail drive and holds it up. This is everything I've managed to scrape from within Utsubo. The key is to challenging Lane is on here. I know it. Take it to Oliveira. It's tucked away in a crater, in the shoals, that massive debris field beyond the hollow. She meets your eye. You give it to Carmen. No one else. Ankita presses the drive into your palm and closes your hand around it. No one but Carmen. You understand? Lane's rise has been cruel. He's spilt too much blood. When I'm ready, I will make him pay for that. But Carmen needs to analyze what I've got on him, to find the right place and moment to strike. Ankita meets your eye. I knew a sleeper once, and I should have trusted them. She lets go of your hand. So now I'm trusting you. I'll get you out, and you deliver. That's the deal. Ankita cracks her knuckles. Then together, we can. Ankita spins sideways, slamming into the wall of the unit with a grunt. A few small globes of red liquid glitter in the air. Run, Sleeper! Eugen flexes the fist he just hit Ankita with. I've got her! A shrill whine draws both you and Eugen's attention to Ankita. She's holding a boxy pistol at her waist, its side blinking with a pale indicator light. You haven't got shit. Ankita raises up and wipes the little blood from her temple, her eyes not leaving Eugen. One hell of a way to join a conversation, she winces, especially when I came to save you, clowns. Eugen looks at you questioningly, his guard still up. It's a long story. Back down, Eugen. Ankita is on our side. You sure about that, Sleeper? Eugen shoots her a sideways glance. Last thing I saw, she most definitely wasn't. I have to go, Sleeper. She glances between the two of you. You explain this whole thing to your friend if you want, but I won't be here when you do. 2 cycles. Be ready to leave. She backs out of the unit. When Lane comes back, you go out. Neither of us wants him to win here. And a piece of advice, forget Marco. Keep your head down and wait for me. You need supplies? Steal them in Flicker Row. Otherwise, keep to yourself. Ankita gives you a hard look and slips out of the unit. Well, we've got pretty trash. He's the one with the Endure. And his dice are trash. Ugh. But maybe we can. Continue. We found Marco. Though you have no specific memory of it, there is something unpleasantly familiar about the place you have found yourself in. Among the many, many stack units of the Rise, framed by scaffolding and stretching away from Darkseid's reflectors in a way that is only possible in 0G, you have found yourself in a cold corner. Here, a locked door is marked with Utsubo's sigil, a single eel, curled back on itself, its mouth around its own tail. Sick Muse! Oh, that was loud. It's not 10 yet. It's fine. How are you? This is the kind of door behind which Utsubo keeps its secrets. Its assets. Assets like you and Seraphin were. Like Marco is now. It's a door you have been watching, which is why you know there should be an enforcer lazily lent beside it, and why you know you have only moments before they come back. Oh, good. I'm glad you're doing the arting. I am alive, and that's all I can ask for. I tried a new workout person for at-home workouts earlier today. I'm doing some wrist rotations now. I haven't done dumbbell workouts in a while, so my wrists. You got a black screen? Oh no. I'm pretty sure it says I can see what I'm doing, but it could be horribly wrong. How about now? It could also be that I don't know how to change the settings for how it streams, so it could be trying to stream to people at way too high of a thing. I don't know how to change it. I know it's not possible for people to see things at the resolution that it's trying to stream on, but I don't know how to change it. Stream output. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. I don't know what the thing says. I don't know what to do to change it. I just know that I am A while ago, you didn't even get audio and visual? So weird. Maybe it's, the United States. It could also be because I'm not, what's it called? You know, a, an affiliate. So they probably, have me on the lowest setting possible for stream quality. Because I don't want to be an affiliate. Because if I do, a certain friend of ours, Savage, is gonna buy me sub gift bombs, and I don't want that. Oh, really? That's crazy. Crazy. Oh, no, 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 no. Settings? Nope, that gives me the same settings. I don't know how to change it. I know it's a thing. I know. I'll figure it out someday. Not right now. I'm gonna play this game. It's okay. I It's it. Okay. Okay. I will. Whew. We're playing Citizen Sleeper 2. We are once again trapped on Darkside because we trusted a fool who is like revolution. Yeah. You slip a shipbreaker's chisel from your belt, pack, and jam it into the lock, glancing over your shoulder as you try to force the mechanism. With a deft hand, you angle the chisel against the mechanism, and with a swift strike on the handle, the bolt pops off the inside lock. You slide the door silently. You're in. You should definitely play the first Citizen Sleeper. I did the thing where I hyper focus and then I go through the different routes and then I do a little thing and then I do a little thing and then I keep playing. And it was fun. It was fun. Um I played all the different types that you can be as a sleeper. Yep. It was good. A dim corridor stretches out ahead of you, lined with doors on either side. The memory hits you almost immediately. Long cycles between jobs in a cell like this, awaiting Lane's arrival. Kept safe. A lie that you believed when you were first brought into a place like this. I like the dice mechanics. It makes things fun. Most of the cells are dark, empty, but a warm glow slips from around one of the doors. You quickly approach and look in. Marco is tucked in an inset berth, a padded niche like those in any unit. His back is turned to the small window in the door. You slam the exterior lock release without thinking, Marco turning over to face the door as it hisses open. Sleeper? He freezes for a moment, unsure of your intentions. He raises a hand as if to protect himself, to put something between you and him. You're lucky I'm here. Marco nods. Sleeper, He pushes himself up from the berth. He goes to speak and then stops himself. Let's just get out of here. You back out into the passageway and Marco follows slowly, tentatively. Time to leave. Lucky me, Daichi floats in a corridor, a knife glinting in his hand. I came to squeeze a little more information from Orion's prize here. He points the long knife at Marco. But it looks like I just got everything I need. Oh my god, I'm terrible at both of these things. Ah. Neutral outcome. Nice. The knife cuts deep as you spin into it. Oh, yeah, that's one of the things. While you're playing in these story bits, you also have checks, and a die 1 through 6 gets rolled, but depending on how good you are at specific abilities, is changes your chances of being able to pass checks. It's really cool. The knife cuts deep as you spin into it, but you swing your elbow anyway, connecting with Daichi's face as you move. You feel the crunch of his nose, the solid metal of your skeleton meeting the pliant bone of his. Moments later, Marco and you are streaking through the passages of the rise in a haze, the pain fading, but the fear holding strong, desperate to leave this place once and for all. Very good. We're gonna sleep in our abandoned unit. You wake in the bare unit, cloaked in the endless shadow of Darkside. Outside the window, the lights of the city glitter, but you do not see them. Your attention is instead on the tugging thread inside your mind. Lane drawing ever closer. You shiver. One more cycle, and then you are out. Unless, of course, Lane digs in like a freak. Okay, well, I already found him. I need more supplies, but it's not letting me. I want to go to the other place. Okay. I guess we just get to starve. Made it through Darkside Recon without getting caught. Marco rises from his berth quietly. You haven't really spoken. The two of you kept busy by your own injuries and the constant fear that Daichi will find you. But so far he hasn't. And if Ankita is to be trusted, this is your final cycle on Darkside. You wait in silence. No one is eager to speak. A deep fatigue has set in, and in this moment, all anyone can do is wait for this excursion to be over. She's here. Marco nods at the doorway, where a silhouetted figure awaits. Ankita looks at Marco, and then at you. A raised eyebrow, the only acknowledgement that you went against her advice. Lane is back on Darkside. We have to go now. Ankita looks tired, angry. We won't have another chance. Come with me, quickly, quietly. She turns and pushes out into the corridor. Yujin gives you a look. It's about time. Ankita leads you across Darkside, not stopping to look back. The lights and passages flash by, but you barely notice them. All eyes are fixed ahead, on the way out. At some distant part of the station, Ankita stops at the docking bridge, a small freighter visible through the viewing windows. She slaps the door release and it slides open. She grabs your shoulder, looking into your eyes. Lane's focus will be on Darkside now. He needs to stop the infighting, to shore up Utsubo. If you get out now, he won't follow. Remember, Ankita hisses the instructions to you. Get that drive to Oliviera. Give it to Carmen. No one else, no matter what they say. Just nod. Ankita returns your nod, and she told me to follow her quietly, okay? I'm not gonna talk. The pretty lady with the long braid told me to be quiet. Ankita returns your nod, and then she is gone, disappearing into the endless, winding passages of Darkside. You drift gingerly down the docking tunnel, which leads to the cold and sparse cargo bay of the ship. Once you are inside, there is a hiss, and the doors scissor shut. For a moment, you panic, seeing no exit, no other doors, just a metal-walled bay. Is this a trap? But the engines rumble to life, and you give in to your exhaustion. If Ankita has tricked you, at least you are leaving this place behind. And then you feel it, cold fingers reaching into your mind. You are so close. Lane's voice is in your ear. You are here. A rustling, a shifting. I can't quite place you. Can't quite put my finger on you, sleeper. but I know you were there. What were you doing here? Hoping to confront me, perhaps? Or something else? A hiss. I am right here, you coward. Come and find me. I'll admit, I'm not quite ready for you, Sleeper. A flicker and a spasm. But so soon, this will all be over. A tone begins, shrill and inescapable. Let me show you. The tone rises. Lane is in the bay of the freighter, the pull of constant acceleration a comforting pressure against his chest. Lane looks around the bay, taking it in slowly. He inhales the stale air deeply. Lane feels power, feels pride. This sense of control over another excites him. This is his desire. So he's gross, very gross. Lane lifts his right hand and turns it in the air, flexing his fingers in a satisfying wave. Something flickers in the corner of your vision for a moment, and you strain to turn Lane's head. It does not turn, but you swear you see a figure there in the bay with you. It opens its mouth as if to speak, as if to scream, and then it's gone. A smile grows on Lane's face, a spreading tightness that has its own impulse. He raises one hand and uses it to grip the smallest finger of the other. A pause, and then a sudden jerk. Lane snaps the finger back against the joint. His pain is instant, as is yours. It burns your vision away. When the white-hot blindness has faded, you look out on those same metal walls. You hold the same finger in your hand. And as you release it, you see the crooked shape it has been bent into. A shiver runs through you, and you reach back into your own mind to see if any trace, any fragment of Lane remains there. You put your hands on your face and push, as if to push him from your head. The ship continues on its starward arc, away from Darkseid, away from Lane, but you can't help but feel that some part of him is still there, behind your eyes, concealed beneath the pain of that snapped finger. And on that decidedly icky note, it takes a long time before you're ready to discuss everything. First, there was the journey to the yard, then the disembarking of the freighter, then explaining to the waiting crew why their ship was impounded, something Marco offered 1,000 apologies for. Thankfully, the crew of the ship that brought you out of Darkseid, sent by Akita, took the others aside and settled them. Through the promise of remuneration or the threat of violence, you aren't sure. But you expect they will leave together for Darkseid soon. You do your best to explain your encounter with Ankita to your crew, but the mention of her name sets off a significant reaction in Bliss. It seems the two have a history, a relationship that fell apart. Bliss removes themselves from the conversations, and later on you find them in the berth, staring at the wall. The whole time, you find yourself in a daze. Your skin hurts. Your muscles tremble. And you don't feel yourself. You rest for a while, and as you do, conversations echo around you, until you find yourself able to rise. Sleeper, Marco comes to you in the quiet of the rig. Can we speak a moment? Go ahead. Marco nods. Thank you, Sleeper. He looks down. I know I almost cost you everything, but you have to understand something. When they caught me, I was looking for someone important to me. That was why I wanted to come with you. I just wanted to get a message to him and to know he was all right. He screws up his face, each word bringing him pain. And I admit, I thought I might be able to bargain on his behalf to get us both out. Bargain using my life? Marco can't bring himself to confirm it, but you both know it to be true. All I can say is, I'm sorry. Look, you can use the yard when you get back to the scatter yards. There are some components there. Take what you want. Marco sniffs. I'm going to stay here a while. He does not meet your eye. He simply turns away and drifts down the corridor. As he does, Seraphine passes him by, receiving no acknowledgement. Seraphin gives you a questioning look as Marco leaves. What happened out there, sleeper? He floats there, stretching his scarred arm, the protective sleeve he has been wearing since the far spindle finally removed. The Utsubo are fighting amongst themselves. You explain about the meeting you witnessed, the conflict between Oren and Daichi, and Ankita's intervention. Explaining Ankita takes a little more effort, but you try to remember everything that happened. You explain Ankita's insistence that she was working against Darkseid and how she got you off the station. You explain that Utsubo itself is coming apart with Lane absent, and that this will draw his focus away from the two of you. Seraphin waits until you're finished to respond. So, this Ankita got herself inside Utsubo. He raises an eyebrow. Just to try to break their grip on Darkseid? He whistles. Take some balls. You explain the drive, mention Oliviera, Carmen, and then hold up the thumbnail drive, the one Ankita entrusted to you. Oliviera, he screws up his face. I've heard of it maybe once or twice. I just assumed it was some backwater colony. Never met a Carmen, though. What's on that thing? Seraphin nods at the thumbnail drive. Ankita didn't say. I don't get it. Seraphin raises an eyebrow. We just deliver this little mystery drive, and that's all? He looks away, deep in thought. Is that what you want to do next? Olivia, you've never even heard of it, but it seems like the place to go if you want to help Ankita fight back against Lane. You look at the drive, and as you do, you can't help but feel you are being used, not for the first time. One thing I will say, Seraphin begins, clearly thinking out loud. If we want to head back to Darkseid, take on Lane, we are going to need to do so in our ship this time. Some crews get spoofed transponders, send out a signal matching another ship. He shrugs. Not going to get one fitted here, but that's something we need to look out for. Sure, you think. Go back to Darkseid, where Lane awaits. A shudder of fear runs through you, thinking of the moment he slipped into your mind on the freighter. If you ever go back there, you know you'll need to do something to counteract him. But you also recall Overseer's presence in that moment, too, his strange form holding shape as Lane tried to override your control. Perhaps Overseer has a way for you to resist his signal. Your mind whirls with possibilities and problems. Is this really the right move? To go back to the place that almost killed you twice? To take Lane on? Seraphin looks at you, expectantly. What are you thinking, Sleeper? What if we leave the system? We need to prepare. I couldn't agree more. Seraphin shakes his head. Next time will be different. We will be ready. We will come out fighting, and Lane won't have a clue what's hit him. We need to work. We need a crew. Seraphin starts counting off his fingers. We need you to take that thing to Liviera, and we need you strong, Sleeper. Speaking of, Seraphin takes out a box of components. I've kept myself busy these past cycles, working on the fabricator bays on the scatter yards. I figured you could use some spares. But first, Seraphin takes a calming breath. We rest. I need to repair my dice. Okay, and I'm starving. I don't have enough cryo for all this that I'm doing. I'm gonna take a nap though. I do want to look around Micro Shop before I leave. The darkness flows around you, and you know what comes next. Sleeper. The multi-part image of Overseer assembles itself in front of you. We must intervene in your current course. Intervene in what? The opening of your systems has breached a new paradigm. You are dangerously exposed. The voice is somehow both soundless and shrill. As we are sharing your hardware, that means we too are fatally exposed. The individual agent you encountered, we were almost completely erased by their attempts to seize control. Overseer's three heads nod eagerly in agreement. It's Lane. We have knowledge of this name from your memory banks. There is much of interest to us recorded there, though often partially and inconsistently. Overseer whirs unsettlingly. But yes, we can confirm Lane's role in this vulnerability. It is our understanding that the assumption of inevitability is incorrect. Overseer glows with bright veins of data. But in this state, we cannot operate with full functionality. If we were to be recompiled in our correct configuration, we believe we would be able to calculate a new path. Our aim would be to close the vulnerabilities and reinforce your systems against future intrusion. This would ensure our safety within your system. 3 sets of eyes lock into you. Would it also please you? How? We do not know. All 3 heads cock at an angle. We are aware we were built with certain capabilities, but we cannot access them until we are recompiled. We are confident to a substantial degree that we will know how to complete the process once recompiled. The 3 heads nods, one to the other. Then recompile. The 3 heads revolve thoughtfully for a moment. Without our originating codebase, we cannot recompile. If you were able to speak with Solheim systems engineer, then perhaps the lead engineer Jakub Kandinsky, perhaps we could acquire it. The heads stare at you expectantly, like 3 partially deconstructed companies. Solheim is gone. Yes, the heads nod repeatedly. Of course. The heads continue nodding. We were, of course, aware of this. You look at the fragmented program, itself, its systems, unstable and broken. You realize it is far worse off than you, and its collapse is almost inevitable. How could it possibly save you? It is a difficulty. Overseer flicks between poses, but all the code bases are held in the centralized Solheim facilities. They are Station AE1, the CAN Channel Operations Center, and the Control Center of the HABPEP, or the Helion Asteroid Belt Photovoltaic Extraction Project. Overseer smiles helpfully. HABPEP. Is that Darkseid? Overseer immediately latches onto the thought. Based on your memory banks, we believe so. Correct. It occurs to you that this entire conversation is happening within your head. It is an unsettling feeling. Darkseid is a city now. This is true, but its foundation is the HABPEP itself. Overseer chirps brightly. We understand that the individual seeking to overwrite you is stationed in the HABPEP itself. The Overseer's 3 heads separate and turn inward as if in conference. The shattered heads turn simultaneously, unsettling in the directionlessness with which they address you. But if you could access the HABPEP mainframe without making yourself known, we could reconstruct ourselves and gain the ability to reconstruct you. Theoretically, the one of the heads adds. Theoretically, the other 2 heads confirm. Would that protect me from Lane? Theoretically, the heads confirm again. The reassurances of a delusional Solheim protocol are barely reassuring, but if Overseer is correct, This may be your only option. We feel your doubt, but we must impress upon you the importance of this. Please, Overseer's eyes flash, all six of them. If not for your sake, for ours. If you cannot find your way to the hub pit before encountering this lane, you will surely be overridden. We would also share your fate. The heads rotate. We would not like this to happen. You sigh, exhausted from the conversation. Overseer gets the message. We will leave you to recharge, but please, consider the path ahead. You come back to the ragged paneling of the bunks. Somewhere behind your left eye, and the ache begins. You envy Overseer for its lack of a body and the pain it causes. But then, suddenly, you wonder if in sharing your body it shares your pain too. The thought makes you pity the broken protocol, its sense of time and place shattered. Perhaps you share more than you would like to admit. The path ahead begins to take shape. It seems a return to Darkside is inevitable, but you will need help to make that return. What? The search failed. Well, I got a bunch of engine components. Okay. Spoof transponder required. Okay. Let's see. Where's Junie's bunker then? Okay. Okay. So for now, we're gonna... Well, it's saved. I have 5 points available. And now I don't have -2 for endure. Okay. So, for now, we're done. We are no more. There will be no more. Thank you everybody for tuning in for Story Time with Standby. We survived our brief little stint going back to Darkside, where we started the game running away from. You know? It's been a while. And let's see. I don't see anyone I would normally raid out right now. So we're just gonna go. Thank you, everybody. Don't forget, if you're going to bed soon like I am, to brush your teeth. And if you're not going to bed soon like I am, don't forget your human body requires so much water and salt and nutrients. And most people get nutrients from food. And stretching is good, so you can retain your full range of motion. Alrighty then, everybody. Thank you for coming. I hope you have a wonderful